Cyberpunk Edgerunners has amazingly well-written characters that most viewers have gotten attached to. And while a community fan favorite gets got in the last climax of the show, what if we were to rewrite history and give our 5'4" blue killer gremlin another chance as if she had a miraculous recovery in our favorite city? It's time to ask the question that one of my regular viewers are very happy to hear. Can you beat Cyberpunk 2077 as Rebecca? The rules are rather simple. Basically only allowed to use power weapons. While Rebecca's special shotgun is in the game, I feel like limiting her to only using her single weapon to make it into the game, while she is seen in the show using more iron than the bars Hawk 2 girl will be behind, isn't fair to our little gunslinger. Next is only leveling and taking perks for body and reflex. While I could find use in every single stat, I feel like intelligence and technical ability are for those with net running capabilities or those who have way too much chrome, and while cool would be fitting, the whole stat is more or less for stealth, and because our character runs into every fight with a big no stealth. Like, at all. And last, but also kinda least, I'm reusing the same limitation from Lucy's run, being no more than 50% of my cyberwork capacity being in use. Because after the events of the show, I feel like she would make sure not to go all over the top when it comes to her wear. Now finally, enough stalling. After choosing hard as my difficulty, you get to see what 3 hours of pain looks like to get my room temperature IQ having ass to get these mods working, as well as a sneak peek to see how crazy it made me. Put all my starter points into body and reflex, get a tough reminder of the past after making a not so full recovery, but knowing it's time to stop feeling sorry for myself and get back to the merc work. I then get confused as I normally don't play with mods. Was that always there? Is that the mod? Because this feels like something that's a mod, but like, I kind of feel like it's not as well. And while I can't shrink my model due to spaghetti code, I am at least able to lower my camera a bit to make it a bit closer to Rebecca's natural height. Unfortunately, I have to take the first gig I could find, being stealing a top-notch car that screams in matters of taste. And while I'm given a sort of key that works at opening the damn thing, when a gun is shoved promptly in my face, it can't muster any movement. Even worse, the cops seem to catch on to my failed heist, putting both me and Boy Wonder into the dirt, before one slap on the wrist puts us back on the street. And while I'd normally flip out on Mr. No Honor Among Thieves, he senses a bit of friendly connection between us, and since I'm notably rusty from my recent recovery, I agree to join him, slowly getting back into my element and being able to get myself back on my feet. So much so that we've become a good little crew over months of work, being able to get much more comfortable in Night City, and with T-Bug as our netrunner, Jackie's comic relief and backup, that leaves me being the best gunslinger this side of Night City, even with the limited weaponry for this meant-to-be stealth mission. And with every newbie taken care of, I have a fond memory and see I still got the strength for my weapon of choice. Get a bad reminder of my emo phase, show my strength off to Jackie, who isn't too happy. Jeez, Jackster, what did you do to this poor man? We save Miss Dorset, an easy gig done for Makako, as well as finishing off the scavs to make sure that an easy gig like this doesn't need to be done again. I then try and get a full night's sleep, my glow-in-the-dark jacket making it harder than it needs to be, having a much better time once I take it off, but of course, the shoes stay on. I then see that Jackie and I desperately need more gigs, as rent's almost due. Man, rent almost being due. Can you imagine rent, like, being due? Really cool. World of Warships! World of Warships has sponsored this video so I can talk to you about one of the best free-to-play naval warfare games on PC. A game with top-of-the-line graphics, dynamic weather, and new updated water effects, making each of the more than 40 fresh and unique maps feel like a different experience with every fight. But graphics can only take a game so far. It's the gameplay that truly makes the game shine, with different ships and boats to fit your playstyle. Like to support your team? Aircraft carriers can provide information to your side that will be sure to help you in your victory. Or perhaps the cruisers, a jack of all trades that can be better than a master of one, with not only some support, but also damage for your team. Rather go berserk with huge guns? Battleships are your big Berthas that excel at pumping damage and taking a pumping in return. Wanting a bit more stealth? Destroyers can be that element of surprise with boom booms that pack a real punch. And with over the 500 ships across 10 different nations that all have the care and dedication put into each vessel, as well as the regular monthly updates, on top of being able to play either Lone Wolf or Division mode alongside your friends, and the choice of either PvP or PvE, you'll find a welcoming spot in this massive active community. Oh, and did I mention this game is also on console? And if you're a new player who's interested, click the link in my description and make sure to use the invite code IMPACTFORCE, and you'll get 20 days of premium accounts, the Japanese Tier 2 cruiser Tenryū, and many more great starter bonuses. So get out there and show the world your warship. And like I do with every sponsor, thanks to World of Warships, you can enjoy the rest of this video with no mid-roll ads. So enjoy. Despite the fact that rent is now paid, I meet up with Jackie Dimple Wells, get told he's got a brand spanking new gig for us, which I'm super excited for.
Go on.
She said enthused. So since I'll need to be on my best game and behavior for the meet with the fixer, I meet with Vic. But since Becca gives a healthy tip to David, I decide to tear through some easy please scanners for Eddie's XP and the ability to pay Victor up front. And even with no respect to the drip. Come on man, right into the jacket, that's not cool. I'm more prepared to show my Becca charm to this fixer. I then drop my phone and meet with the fixer to hear the basics of this little job. Needing to steal a chip from Arasaka, requiring this spider bot to do so, steal it from this gonk, and have a chat with the woman who's setting up the whole heist. I tell Jackie to meet me at the gonk's hideout so we can start with the fun stuff. Bro just said I'm here. I try and tell the nice metalheads to let us inside, and since it's no longer November, they let us in with ease. But with my bad impulse control in full effect, I try and sneak myself a new toy, and get caught by Maelstrom. So it's time to grab them both, let them know that we're here, but the warning isn't enough to protect them from my wrath, leaving nothing but meat and metal on the ground before it's time to get my grubby little hands on our bot, before seeing how big my weapon is. I also have the Slot-O-Matic problem, where if I do any animation with the HMG in my hands, it's thrown away like a little brat no longer liking its old toy, which makes me think it'd be kinda cool to see a vanilla HMG only run, considering the many trials and tribulations you'd have just to have one on hand for most of your encounters. Someone who's not me should do that run. I then use the last of my big weapon before it's time to get back to my small time guns. I make random prisoner go boom, and finish off the rest of these little idiots before it's time to take on the previous owner of my new bot, who makes the terrible decision of putting on a Militech mech suit. After seeing the downsides of such a suit with my own eyes, I'm able to make the suit cook his brain and core. So I quickly put him out of his misery. Jackie and I celebrate our easy victory, and Jackie's guardian angel makes sure such a dark twist doesn't happen in the start of Act 1. They really didn't want Jackie to get hit by the car. Game desperately didn't want him to get hit by the car. I then find the so-called bigwig, who's paying us for the job. Meet the brains behind the operation, who leads me into a BD for information. That gives me a one-way ticket into a death stare, and the reminder of my failures. I speedrun getting information for our heist to ignore my trauma. Evelyn tries to get me to betray my crew right before getting told to come to the afterlife. I get a safe set of cyberware on the system, enjoy a David Martinez with Jackie, find out that I clean up quite well, rat out on Evelyn as to not be like Kiwi, which makes Jackie happy for our much larger cut. We do some light bickering on our way to the job.
Seems to me like it's you who's got some kind of problem.
Get forced to leave my weapons behind so we can finally make our way into Konpeki Plaza. Enjoy our suite for 3 seconds before I'm forced to get the bot to take care of security. Finally have enough perk points to get dodge. Have one final argument with Jackie.
Hey, when you gonna wave off that dark cloud hanging over your head? Telling you, it's downhill from here on in.
Actually, it's uphill because we're about to go open up elevator, so... We get in to get our prize with ease, but turns out getting out is a different problem. Speaking of problems, it turns out Smasher and Arasaka are still going strong, as well as a newbie I don't recognize. I get to see Luigi in action, which puts this plaza on lockdown, and us in the mean reds. T-Bug bites the dust, Jackie and I try to make a risky escape, and after a wrong turn to a death drop, it seems like it's my second time getting taken out by Arasaka. But the fuck it wee ball inside of me burned brighter than the Jover around me. While we survived for now, the case is fried. Jackie's told to slot the chips and hopes to save this terrible heist. I lead the charge and thankfully get to take out my anger in a very healthy way. Thanks to Prince Arasaka's prized pistol, the goon guards are turned into a fine paste. And also thanks to this big-bodied boy, I not only get a key to the next floor, but my first of many LMGs. So I get my signature perk and use an LMG for the first time. And holy dog shit. What is this? So after being more disappointed than my last trip to Denny's that included no syrup foot job, I let this big disappointment take down the big mech and clear out the entire parking garage just for kicks. And after entering the wrong side of the car, I find out the newest bug just dropped. Wait, why is he back in his normal gear? Lock eyes with my trauma, who seems to recognize me from how he reacts. Arasaka sends out drones, but for me, it's just target practice, which takes just long enough for Jackie to change back into his suit and tie. Well, he's back in his regular clothes. Alright, whatever. I try and keep Jackie distracted and awake, but it's too late. He hands me the chip, and I let him go peacefully. I find the chip already fried and seemingly worthless, so it's over. I leave the Delamain in our meeting spot with Dex, being able to stick Arasaka on him, and the ability to lay low. Days pass where I just don't know what to do. Smasher did it again. I revisit the painful spot, but this feeling of helplessness soon fades when I find her. She sets a simple reminder, determination that tells me I can't keep letting him get away with this. Smasher thinks he's the shit. No, you ain't even the fart. So I do a bit of research on our failed heist, to find out that the newbie who almost caught us has been under fire for letting Mr. Arasaka bite the dust. So I call him up for a meeting, trying to tell him I can help him out of this little situation if he's willing to listen to some demands. He foolishly refuses, so I pretend to start leaving before he tries to hear me out. All I need from him is information on Arasaka Tower, weak points, security, that sort of thing. With his Arasaka crush still in full effect, he says he'll be busy getting info on the chip's maker, as well as the person behind the heist. So he'll get back to me. I then talk to my favorite character in the game. Alright, I know the last time we met I roasted you, but this fit? I like this fit. It's not bad. You know, you got the shoes, matches the hair. Matches, yeah, it's a good fit. You know what you're doing. I know you look like you're having a rough day. It's a good fit. Keep it up. Keep it up. Before it's back to business, having to pay Warlock for information on the maker of the chip I saw during my BD speedrun, before I make my way back to Lizzie's to find Evelyn. But instead get into a screaming match with Judy. And after winning said screaming match, get told that Evelyn would most likely be at her job, which is at a club named Clouds. So to Clouds I go. While I never need to frequent any dollhouses, being the only doll I need, I soon find Evelyn not on the list. So I need to find a way deeper into this place, and seeing a guard hit the bathroom, I find my ticket upstairs. So with the keycard obtained, and after about 4 seconds of not finding a way through, I say fuck it and pull out the guard's weapon to start blasting. Guards go down, I make sure not to waste any ammo, and clear out the boss captain. I search for information on Evelyn in Woodman's office. His recent emails show that she was dumped off at Jig Jig Street, so I begin the easy journey back out there. Finally get my baby back in my hands, have to cover my own 6 to escape, have a small disagreement with someone, and with that taken care of, it's back to Moody Judy. I rip my way into Finger's abode, get ready to see my favorite flying welding gun until my power goes out, which is the second time it's happened. So that's 2 nickels for me. Fingers is hungry for attention, so I feed him a few knuckle sandwiches. Learn that Miss Evelyn got sold for amateur BD films. I accidentally hit my mouse, but this allows me to find out who the peddler was working for. I send Judy to scout it out, so I can split up to get my paid info from Rogue, which comes with a free merc to boot. Judy's scouting takes too long for me, so I put on my big girl panties, please take that out of context, before rushing these people stealers.
I know where she is.
Do you now? I charge, shotgun a blasting, turning everyone into the one pump chump, even if some people try to make it needlessly difficult. Give me a second. Hi. So shotgun, gunshot, shot the shoot gun, see a blind scav.
Huh?
And once everyone is blasted away, I find and save Evelyn, bring her back to Judy for some brownie points, and get the reward to hear that Ev was getting this Arasaka chip to please the Voodoo Boys in Pacifica. So Judy and I say our goodbyes. I talk to the fixer who has a steel grip of Pacifica to get me a meeting with the VDBs. I then take a small break to eat my sandwich. Until I don't start eating said sandwich as I start to progress Pan Am's story. I inform her how we can help each other out. She calls off her meat. I use her clan to sell my garbage, change my cyberware, and find out that there's a perk called Built Different. Is a perk named Built Different? See, I'm just over my self-imposed limit, so I just naturally remove all my bones. hack her clan's things to be able to power a Pan Am plan, quietly break into the power room to be able to turn it on, and use the sudden burst of lights as a great distraction for my sudden bullets of death. So with each Raffin funded on life, start looting not knowing there's one left. Once I do, rush in, throw some stank on it, and blast them away. And although the car is saved, Pan Am's ego is hurt, and she wants Nash, the leader of this car stealing group, dead. And while I would scream this one out, with the sudden reminder that everything I've been doing is for revenge, I just kinda get it. I do talk her into doing a perfect rush in, and with my lack of cyberware sets to become a friendly reminder of why I'm doing this, I rush, knowing that if Nash is down, the rest will fall. So even though this should be Pan Am's kill, I finish Nash, and play slow enough to take down each backend sniper and netrunner. I help Pan Am deliver her required package, before showing off some Becca sass.
Just here to keep you in line.
Ooh, got a little more sass than Nash, do you?
Wait and see.
I like this one.
And with the reward of friendship, I get the actual reward of adrenaline rush. Basically, when I use a health item, I also get about 40 to 30% bonus health, which makes up for my lack of armor. It's then time to get me a chipmaker, whose new employers plan to fly him in a convoy, conveniently over a power plant. I get to fire the cool turret gun, which I quickly use to take out some drones that chase us before we turn a power plant into an H-bomb. I'm the lucky one who gets to blow this ship out of the sky, so the Demolitron goes off, which starts to take out our not-so-lucky VIP. More drones try and stop us, and while they do stop Pan Am, and unfortunately some of her clan, I'm still hitless. With Revenge for 2 in tow, I rush the only issue on the battlefield, have a surprisingly easy time turning off this missile launcher, and the Clankas go down. Somehow save Pan Am's clanmate, and while Pan Am stays to help her clan, I take a motorcycle and rush towards Hellman's guards. And since they have HMGs here... So with my new favorite weapon used, I find out it's a BOGO deal, fully clear the area before rushing Hellman, find out his personal bodyguard is almost bulletproof, but only for the first 2 shots. I then take my bargaining chip, tell Takamura that Hellman is all mine, but my willingness to share will change if he can give me that information I asked for. And while he isn't happy, he agrees. So I take Hellman in my new bike to a safe location. He yaps on and on about his now fried chip I stole, and once I finally take control of the conversation, get him to spill some info on Smasher. Being head of security for Arasaka, almost always onto the property for big meetings or security problems, meaning if I cause some hijinks in Arasaka Tower, then I'd get to meet that metal mug once again. So with my information pockets lined, I give Takamura my sloppy seconds, reward myself with max body and a blue LMG. This one shoots explosive rounds. Takamura takes his sweet time, so I do some quests, get pretty much all the useful body perks for the run, getting good health and good damage for LMGs and shotguns, call Takamura myself to see if it'll bug the game to work, and in the Call V and Takamura metagame.
Parade. How's the prep going?
Parade? We didn't even do the parade yet. What the fuck? We haven't even done the parade section. He's like, the parade. Like, we don't know about the parade yet. That's metagaming, Takamura. You're metagaming right now. After about an hour of looking up this, that, and the other thing, while at Jig Street, it just seems to work that he calls me. Woo! While I'm excited for patch 2.2, could we get patch 2.21 where getting these calls don't take years off my life? Thanks. Takamura convinced me his coworker could help us, so after this trap, a Yap trap featuring the Yap, I convince him he's worthless. And while we learned about the parade through meta, I show Takamura it's not who you know, it's who you know. As Wakako still owes me for saving Miss Dorset, so instead of payment, I get information on the parade. I get told the who's, where's, and why's, and Takamura and I ask ourselves what we can do. He thinks he might be able to get Miss Hanako Arasaka by himself, but with the news stirring the pot, he decides he needs me, dragging me along to the place where they keep the floats. We take a peek, take the time to learn the guards' patterns, and I'm told to sneak my way in. I've never done that ever. With a very upset and frantic Takamura on my 6, I clear the outside and clear our way inside. Get him to hack his float while I clear the cams. And right after clearing the last witness, get the wrong reward for my efforts. How do I get net running skill? So with the plan set up, I become blue, but for real this time. upgrade my shotgun, and meet up to get this parade going. The plan is I take out the protection, and Takamura talks to Hanako. I try to enjoy myself, but the lack of my arms give me a bad reminder of why I'm here. So I rush into the plan, get spotted, and speed things up. The only danger I face is a fallen drone when I'm trying to get some tasty loot. Oh, fuck the fuck has a... Why does this always happen to me? Why do I find myself in these precarious situations? Get out the way, I'm looting here. Somehow forget about the traps, but live and last, and certainly least is the Netrunner. Until the actual last threat is a second season of Yap Trap. It's kind of crazy how this fight used to be hard for me. Basically just shoot him until his dodge stamina is drained, and shoot him out of his healing. And while my guns make me low on stamina with no ability to dodge, my adrenaline rush perks allow me to tank his lackluster damage. He also doesn't use his smart pistol until it's too late, so with Oda down, and keeping him alive to appease my Arasaka fanboy, Takamura can now sneak in, fuck everything up, and fight for my life on the way out. Find where Takamura took his prize, get warned about holding my tongue,
Offered her some tea. Are you mad?
but even before I can talk to her, we've been found. With a bang that takes out the floor, and almost me, I rush back upstairs, as I can't afford the loss of Takamura quite yet, so I slide in some DMs and clear out the top floor. Don't get a thank you as we clear our way out as a team. I get a shot of Rebecca's cannon height, I hide the knight away, find a proxy at the wrong door, but it actually turns out to be Hanako. She tries to offer me a job knowing of my involvement in the heist, and while that doesn't interest me, she tells me about a meeting that will soon be held in Arasaka Tower. Meeting max security, meaning Adam Smasher. I actually have terrible security in real life as a cat sneaks into my room. If I can get my keys. No! Get out of here! What are you doing? Get the dread perk as it's literally me, before it's time to get back to the VDBs, hoping that if they needed the now broken ship, they might also have a reason to break back into Arasaka. So they first hire me for a simple job, basically needing to clear out the nearby mall. I'm told I need to be slow and quiet. Get to find out the power of the LMG. Basically, sometimes my low health enemies kindly turn into bits, and every kill autofills my big fuck off gun with some spare bullets. Meaning less reloads. Less reloads mean more kills. More kills equal less enemies. So after taking care of the ghosts... Really just came through the wall for that one? Really? Was that necessary? Was that at all really needed right there? I find out that this is a netwatch problem, and on my way to solve it, I find a muscle Matilda protecting the agent. A fight I accidentally do hitless, as I think she bugs out right here as I destroy her back region and she picks up her hammer. And I bugged her out, alright. is going great. So I fire away, and with no one to stop me, I let Guts finish her off, sending this disappointment to the moon, which accidentally screws me over. Get down here. Get back down here. I want your loot. Get off the ceiling, you bitch. Take care of Netwatch, which apparently helps the head of the Voodoo Boys out of hypersleep. She's the lady that actually wanted this ship, and since I have it, despite being no longer active, they think they can still use it for something they've been working on. And if I help, they'll be in my debt. I finally get to see what this so-called net looks like.
This is it? Seriously?
Quickly catch on to the fact that they're using me as bait. An AI recognizes the chip, talking about a Johnny and Arasaka. I decide to work behind the VDB's back and tell the AI I can free them if they help me cause some problems in Arasaka Tower, and get told they would do it if I can get them to Mikoshi. So since the VDB served no purpose, one shot, crazy. So there's these things called guns, fellas. You should invest in some, they're really cool. Getting out of this hideout is easy. 1v1 shotguns only, take down Placide rather easily, and despite the fact that I have a plan, and my rage is building, I make sure that I'm ready this time. Taking on gigs to gain some eddies, and being able to get top of the line wear. Getting my weapons as tuned up as possible, as it's now or never, for everyone. I walk into the front door, showing myself just how much trouble this might be, find out the front of house can't handle me before it's raining mechs. Use the layout of the tower against them, The LMG shows its true power by clearing the mech early, find a guard with high enough rank to unlock the elevator, and reach the point of no return. Make sure not to play fair, and clear out any guard that tries. Having to show each and every guard that they aren't him, breaking my way in to let the AI cover me, and on my way to Mikoshi, he finally shows that ugly mug. The flight tries to kick in, but rush with every instinct wanting to fight. I try and use my shotgun, but with the little damage and heavy reload, I butter him up with my trusty boom thrower. But decide during the last 50% outside of the side dancers, Smasher was going to get nothing but shotgun. And with his high damage and ability to run away, I need to play fast and smart, until he's basically on life support. I play around with him wanting to make him feel helpless before... Stop. The way Smasher smashed Becca was a straight crime, so I think Becca should get revenge. If only there was a similar slamming perk, right? With Smasher down, I link the AI to the tower to not have any loose ends, pay my respects to my crew for the last time, have the haunting realization I might not be the only survivor, and decide that with nothing left for me, it's time to get out of Night City, and find myself a more fulfilling purpose. Proving that yes, you can beat Cyberpunk 2077 as Rebecca. Thank you to World of Warships for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to check out the game and use the code IMPACTFORCE for some great starter bonuses. And of course, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And as always, check out this video on screen. The algorithm didn't like it, but hey, maybe you will. Have a good day.